face of Adam Wayne, his red hair blowing behind him a little streaked with grey. "What is this, my people?" he said. "Is it altogether impossible to make a thing good without it immediately insisting on being wicked? The glory of Notting Hill in having achieved its independence has been enough for me to dream of for many years, as I sat beside the fire. Is it really not enough for you, who have had so many other affairs to excite and distract you? Notting Hill is a nation. Why should it condescend to be a mere empire? You wish to pull down the statue of General Wilson, which the men of Bayswater have so rightly erected in Westbourne Grove. Fools! Who erected that statue? Did Bayswater erect it? No, Notting Hill erected it. Do you not see that it is the glory of our achievement that we have infected the other cities with the idealism of Notting Hill? Is it we who have created not only our own side but both sides of this controversy? Oh, too humble fools! Why should you wish to destroy your enemies? You have done something more to them. You have created your enemies. You wish to pull down that gigantic silver hammer which stands like an obelisk in the centre of the Broadway of Hammersmith. Fools! Before Notting Hill arose, did any person passing through Hammersmith Broadway expect to see there a gigantic silver hammer? You wish to abolish the great bronze figure of a knight standing upon the artificial bridge at Knightsbridge. Fools! Who would have thought of it before Notting Hill arose? I have even heard, and with deep pain I have heard it, that the evil eye of our imperial envy has been cast towards the remote horizon of the West, and that we have objected to the great black monument of a crowned raven which commemorates the skirmish at Ravenscourt Park. Who created all these things? Were they there before we came? Cannot you be content with that destiny which was enough for Athens, which was enough for Nazareth, the destiny, the humble purpose of creating a new world? Is Athens angry because Romans and Florentines have adopted her phraseology for expressing their own patriotism? Is Nazareth angry because she is a little village? It has become the type of all little villages, out of which, as the snobs say, no good can come. Has Athens asked every one to wear the chlamys? Are all followers of the Nazarene compelled to wear turbans? No! But the soul of Athens went forth and made men drink hemlock, and the soul of Nazareth went forth and made men consent to be crucified. So has the soul of Notting Hill gone forth and made men realize what it is to live in a city. Just as we inaugurated our symbols and ceremonies, so they have inaugurated theirs. And are you so mad as to contend against them? Notting Hill is right. It has always been right. It has moulded itself on its own necessities, its own sine qua non. It has accepted its own ultimatum. Because it is a nation, it has created itself. And because it is a nation, it can destroy itself. Notting Hill shall always be the judge. If it is your will, because of this matter of General Wilson's statue, to make war upon Bayswater—" A roar of cheers broke in upon his words, and further speech was impossible. Pale to the lips, the great patriot tried again and again to speak, but even his authority could not keep down the dark and roaring masses in the street below him. He said something further, but it was not audible. He descended at last sadly from the garret in which he lived, and mingled with the crowd at the foot of the houses. Finding General Turnbull, he put his hand on his shoulder with a queer affection of gravity, and said, "To morrow, old man, we shall have a new experience, as fresh as the flowers of spring. We shall be defeated. You and I have been through 3 battles together, and have somehow or other missed this peculiar delight. It is unfortunate that we shall not probably be able to exchange our experiences, because, as it most annoyingly happens, we shall probably both be dead." Turnbull looked dimly surprised. "I don't mind so much about being dead," he said. "But why should you say that we shall be defeated?" "The answer is very simple," replied Wayne, calmly. "It is because we ought to be defeated. We have been in the most horrible holes before now, but in all those I was perfectly certain that the stars were on our side, and that we ought to get out. Now I know that we ought not to get out, and that takes away from me everything with which I won." As Wayne spoke he started a little, for both men became aware that a third figure was listening to them, a small figure with wondering eyes. "Is it really true, my dear Wayne," said the King, interrupting, "that you think you will be beaten to morrow?" "There can be no doubt about it whatever," replied Adam Wayne. "The real reason is the one of which I have just spoken. But as a concession to your materialism, I will add that they have an organised army of 100 allied cities against our one. That in itself, however, would be unimportant." Quin, with his round eyes, seemed strangely insistent. "Are you quite sure," he said, "that you must be beaten?" "I am afraid," said Turnbull, gloomily, "that there can be no doubt about it." "Then," cried the King, flinging out his arms, "give me a halberd. Give me a halberd, somebody. I desire all men to witness that I, Auberon, King of England, do here and now abdicate, and implore the Provost of Notting Hill to permit me to enlist in his army. Give me a halberd." He seized one from some passing guard, and shouldering it, stamped solemnly after the shouting columns of halberdiers which were by this time parading the streets. He had, however, nothing to do with the wrecking of the statue of General Wilson, which took place before morning. End of Book 5, Chapter 1.